What keeps people stuck?
Stuck with the
Stuck with where they
inconsistency.
are, with not doing the things that's going to help them to get healthy, not starting to walk, not doing those things. What keeps people stuck?
Their mindset. It's all starts and ends in your mind. All of it, all of it. And if if you don't get your mindset right, then you'll never be consistent and you'll never start.
So how do I get my mind there?
My belief is that because people don't know, that's where we come in. That's why people
You're
hire
right.
coaches, because you don't know. And when I went through my process, I didn't know. I mean, I went to the manufacturer, I went to the one who created me, because I didn't know where else to go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But now it's like, okay, if I got something that I want to do on the physical fitness side, then guess what? I can go and get a coach. I
Right.
don't have to struggle with this. It's like, oh, let me figure this out. You know what I'm saying? Because some things we just don't figure out. Some things we don't know how to figure out because we weren't taught how to
I have
do stuff.
come to a true understanding that there are a lot of things, especially within our community. And this is really in a lot of communities. I don't want it to be, just the Black community, but that we weren't taught, right? I was literally, I'm going to say this at the time of this recording, we have just seen yesterday the Oscars where Will Smith had the unfortunate event with Chris Rock on stage. And I went to bed thinking about how there are people who actually live in households where they're drama free. Like they grew up from Lil B types and they just keep drama out of it. I wasn't
Hmm.
saying that about Will or anything, but it just
Right.
made me think that some of us, our baseline is drama. Our baseline is anger. Our baseline is arguing. Our baseline is dysfunction. Our baseline is not knowing how to save money. So we have to get taught. And we think that this is a normal way of doing things,
Hmm.
taking on so much stress, doing this, not resting, that we have to be taught. And there are people who have been taught much of this stuff that we actually have to find a coach for. What are your thoughts
Right.
on that?
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And I found that out just through my own life. Looking back on some things, because I had mentioned to someone about the middle child syndrome. They're like, "What is that?" Like,
I'm a middle
I never
child,
heard of it. I
is
never heard
alive
of
and
such a
well.
thing. I said, but see, that's the kind of stuff that like the reason why I know about it is because I was affected by it.
Me too.
And because I was affected by it, the people who inflicted that on me, they didn't know no better. They just did what they was taught. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we have to learn something different so that we don't pass that same behavior on to the next generation. So I do agree with you that it is something that we're not taught, but we have to become more aware.
Yes.
We
Yes.
have to become more aware. I can't stress that enough. I can't.
I think that that's one of the goals of all these master classes that I'm doing is to put good information out there so people can be aware.
Hmm.
I remember watching a commercial on Noom, and it was one where I think it was a Hispanic girl, and she was it was like commercial where the grandmother would kept oh, eat this because of this, and oh, we love you. And she said, I've been a victim of food pushing. Like she was really like, dude, like you come to realize once you know, it's like, oh my God, that's what I got. That's what's going on with me. I'm not the only one that feel that way. I'm not the only one. Is because we got to put good information out there
Yes.
so that people can become aware that maybe the things that you're going through that don't have you necessarily feeling good, you can learn how to get past that and get through it. Right.
Yes, 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 yes. But the thing is that somebody has to bring people the information,
Yes,
or else they'll never know it.
absolutely.
They stay there because they don't know how to move on. That's the
Right.
problem. They don't know how to move on, and so in order to be able to do that, you have to unlearn and then relearn,
Absolutely.
and that's a process. That is a process.
Well, I actually am of the mindset that unlearning is harder than learning in the first place. It's hard. I'm trying to tell the people, trying to bless the people. It is
Honey,
harder to unlearn than
yes,
it is to learn in the first, no matter how difficult it is to learn, trying
you
to
better
unlearn
tell
it is hard. It's
somebody.
harder.
It is very, very difficult because you have to. I was, sharing sharing some things with my mother about that, the Oscar incident, and and I was just saying, I said, unless you practice that, it's like if you get angry and you're walking toward, if you have to like stop yourself right as you're getting ready to take your next step. But that takes practice. You have to say up, up, up. I'm reacting and not responding. I'm reacting,
Right.
not
Ooh, that's
responding.
good. That's
Because
good.
when
That's
we
good.
react, that's what happened last on Sunday night. When we respond, we stop ourselves in midstream and we turn around and we go back and take our seat. That's a
Right.
response.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But we
real
but,
good.
but we have to learn how to do that.
Well, let's take it a step further. We have to learn that there's a difference, because there's a whole lot of people that'll start to crucify when they're saying he should have he shouldn't have acted that way, but really he should have been in a place where he was responding differently, right?
Exactly.
And we get the stuff convoluted,
Yeah.
and we don't understand that mental health is a real thing. It's a real thing, this mindset thing. Because what I
Mm-hmm.
believe is, and again, don't want to take up our time talking about, is that he had a mental health break at that moment and reacted to something that I feel and am saddened in his spirit that he will forever regret. Now, here's what it is. We're going to keep on going because we'll talk about that all day, and I don't want that to be part of our story.
But let me just say this, because this is something that I do hope at some point in time we can come back and touch on, because I'm going to start a podcast about this, because I know the month of May is Mental Health Month. But let me say this about that. I think what we're not aware of is that if we keep our emotional health in check, because see, to me, that was an emotional break, not a mental break.
Of course it was. Oh, that's
so,
good.
So that's why we got to know the difference, because people say, oh, it's mental, he mentally ill. No, what happened before that? Because he had emotional problems going on before that should have been detected, that should have been dealt with, so he wouldn't have had a mental breakdown. Because if we don't take care of our emotional health, and I'm not trying to get on that subject, because believe me, when it comes to emotional health, honey, I could go on and on and on. That's why I'm going to start a podcast for the month of April going into Mental Health Month, because people need to be aware of our emotional health.
I absolutely love what you said. I've had the pleasure today to speak to, on just today at the time of this recording, speak to quite a few therapists. And I just love and am appreciative of the perspective that everybody's coming from, because therapists and coaches, we're understanding there was more to it than what everybody saw. You saw a reaction, not trying to denounce the reaction, but there's a whole lot more to it, and it really can lead to a lot of healthy conversation if you get off of the all
slab.
the
Right. Let's talk about right, because that was redirected. Believe me, that was totally redirected. So let's talk about what really was going on. And to me, that's an emotional thing right there. So yeah.
I love it. Now, I know that you have, Coach G, what you call the 5 pillars of health and wellness. Why don't you share that with us?
Okay. That came to me October of 2019. I don't know, God just laid it all out. I mean, when I tell you he laid it all out, he started with the very first pillar, which was our nutritional pillar. Mm-hmm. Then it went to our emotional pillar, our financial pillar, our environmental pillar, and our spiritual pillar. Now, it didn't seem like a big deal at the time when God gave me those pillars, because at the time I had a internet TV show, and it was aired in 168 countries. That's during the time when he gave me that. Being aired in 168 countries, which I didn't understand the significance of that either. But this was right before the pandemic. Mm. And when the pandemic hit, God says, I was trying to prepare the people for the nutrition, for the emotion, for the financial, for the environmental, and the spiritual. Because, everybody was raving because they couldn't go to church. So the spiritual pillar was rocked. The environment, you got your kids at home, they're getting on your last nerve, so your environment is going crazy. Your finances is all out of whack because you can't get to work. Your emotions, you're ready to pull out your hair and choke the person that's standing next to you. And your nutrition, all you're doing is eating everything that's in the refrigerator.
That's
So
real
you see
good.
how all five of those was it was like setting the stage. So when God gave it to me, I had no idea what that was all about. I just did it because he said do it. Didn't have a clue. And when the pandemic hit, when they announced the pandemic, God spoke to me. He says, I wanted the people to be, and it was not exactly 90 days
Wow.
before the pandemic hit.
Wow. Wow. I love that. And because I want to say, I have emotion. I understand. I won't even say what I have because it's not about me. How do you go about teaching it? Do you have it as a class? Is it part of your trainings that you do with your clients? How do you go about teaching the 5 pillars of health and wellness?
Yes, I do have them. They are available for sale on my website. So what happens is depends on because some people might say, well, I only want one pillar only applies to me. I'm just want to get this emotional thing. I want to get that situated. So once they watch the video, 9 times out of 10, what they do is they usually schedule some coaching because that's the area that they really want to focus on. So we just kind of set up coaching sessions for the emotional pillar. And so I do coaching according to whatever pillar it is that is most affecting their life.
Right. I love that. I love that. We have covered so much. I could ask you a gazillion more questions, but what I really am loving about what you're talking about with the health and wellness was you have to get yourself, it doesn't matter, I think, what plan you get on, if a person gets on the plan, or even if you get a coach, if you haven't in your mindset, because you can take a plan or a coach like a Band-Aid. That's what I'm trying to say. And if you think, okay, if I just get this coach will help me to do this thing, and I put a Band-Aid on it and never get to the root of the problem. In order to make the changes that I've heard you talk about, we have to get to the root of the problem. To what you say, I'm a reader, you said fix the problem, not manage the problem. That's when really you can make the changes that you want. And it starts with the mind. Did I miss anything with that?
Nope. You hit it right on the head.
Okay.
Right on the head. Absolutely.
Because that's what I hear you say. Where do you coach at? Do you do individual coach? Do you coach online?
I do. I coach online. I'm totally virtual.
Okay.
Yes.
So
yes.
Do you do, and I know that you say you do individual and group coaching, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
Coach G, where is this? And let me quote all these varies that you said. I am very, 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 I read them all, competitive.
I am.
What in the world?
I am. My grandson, he turned 18 in September. We actually share the same birthday. And he says, hey, Mimi, guess what I'm gonna do? I bet you're not gonna do it. I said, what? He says, I'm going skydiving. I said, I'm coming with you. He said, no, I said, I'm coming with you. And didn't I go skydiving on my 64th birthday? Yes, I did.
I went skydiving before as well. It was very, very exhilarating. I love it.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, yes.
I tell people, I said the jump wasn't the scary, it was the anticipation going up that was scary. Once I got out the plane, it was like, well, we out here now.
What you gonna do?
Well, we out here now. How can the people get in contact with you, Coach G?
Okay, my website is www.mindbodysoulshift.com.
Got that.
And of course, I am on Facebook, Greta Faye Ross. I also have a group page, Mind Body Soul Shift, as well.
Okay.
I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. Instagram is mind_body_soul_shift at Instagram.
I was writing the word underscore. Lord Jesus, mind, body, soul, mind_body_soul_shift.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. That is fantastic. I wanted to just say thank you, thank you, thank you. I have learned, I mean, I got notes all over the place. I have learned a lot from you today. I am with you, sis, on the mindset and the things that we have to do, connecting to important things to you for you to start on that journey. I love that you said, again, I was talking about the time frame, and you said, go 90 days and prove me wrong. Go 90 days and prove me wrong, because it will begin to shift what it is. We have to
Yes,
focus on what we want to change. I will
yes.
give you, for the most part, the last word. Is there any closing remarks that you would like to leave for the people who may come across this video?
Um, just be aware, aware of just your life, just your life in general. You know, a dear friend of mine posted something on Facebook, and I thought it was so profound, because when I read it, I was standing in my window and I was talking to a friend of mine, and I says, "Wow," I says, "This is it's so profound." And the reason why it was so profound, because when I read it to her, she didn't. I'm looking for it. I apologize for not looking at the camera. She was like, "Wow, that's." She says, "But what does it mean?" So I was explaining to her. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find it here. I was trying to explain to her what it meant, and basically what he was saying is, pay attention to everything, because everything speaks to us.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Pay attention to everything, because everything speaks to us. So when she asked me what does that mean, I said, let me just give you an example, because I'm standing here looking out the window. I said, and there's this red bird, and there's this bird out there with yellow on his chest. I said, and they're all like just eating off the ground. I said, and God said that He would provide even for the birds of the air. I said, so if you pay attention to the birds eating, you're seeing the word. You're actually seeing the word in action.
Right,
So
right,
if we
right.
pay attention to everything, it does. So
I
that's what I want to
absolutely
leave you with.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It has been my pleasure to do this masterclass with you, Coach. We have all the information that you said as far as contacting you has popped up on the screen. So I'm really excited about that. And I am looking forward to us doing some work again
Yes.
soon. Go in God's speed, and God bless you. Take care.
Thank you. God bless you.